So let's discuss about HTTP headers. HTTP header is the core part of HTTP protocol. It gives some additional information to request and response messages. So let's discuss about what kind of additional information the client send in a HTTP request, or what kind of additional information the server send in a response messages. When a client send a request to a server, so with the help of HTTP header, the client will tell the server that I am using XYZ type of encoding. My supported languages is English, or my accept files is HTML or text file or doc file. So this type of additional information he can share with the help of HTTP header. So let's discuss some general HTTP headers. There are some general HTTP request header, and similarly there are some general response headers. So I have mentioned some general purpose header. Let's suppose you are trying to access example.com. So in a HTTP header, the client using a browser, so it will send the host header. This host header will share the host name to the server. Similarly, the client will give the user and user agent information, and user agent information related to the browser details, what type of browser the client is using. And similarly, it will send the accept header information contains like what type of files or what type of coding the client will support. And here at the end of the accept header, you can see that q is equals to 0.9, and similarly q is equals to 0.8, and here there is no q value. So the q value is related to application XML. Q value is 0.9, and q value 0.8 is belongs to wildcard. Let's discuss what does it mean. In a accept header, the client can give preference to some files and some applications. Like here, the q, if there is no q value, it's mean the default value is 1. So what does it mean? The client will give preference to these files, and if this file does not find, the client will give preference to this. So the client is requesting with preference that I will accept text slash html, I will accept application slash xhtml, and so on. Similarly, the client can share the accept language, in which it mention US English, and again the q value. Similarly, the client will share the accept encoding, that what kind of encoding the client is supports. Like here, the client supports gzip, deflat, and so on. And if modified, since. So this header is used when a client reinitiate the request, so the client can get the request from the cache, right? So once the client send the request, and it will once, and if it is contains if modified though, so the client and the server both will compare the if modified since header. So if the result is same, then the server will give the response 304. 304 means not modified. Similarly, server will send the response header to the client. So it will give the date information, and the date information will be related to the response generated time and what is the content length. And it will also share the content length. The length of the response content means the body. And similarly, the client will share the content type, like what kind of content file type he's sharing with the client in the response page. And similarly, the content encoding same as the request header. And in last, I have mentioned connection close. So this is related to, like keep alive. So we will discuss this when I will explain you the connection keep alive. So let's discuss about HTTP status codes. So when you are sending a request, so with the help of status code, we can identify whether the request is fulfilled or not. So there are some certain HTTP status code in which we can get some information. So there are different ranges of HTTP codes. So let's discuss about some different general status code like 200. If you get a 200 code, it's mean okay, the result is successful and the request is fulfilled. Also, if you get the 401 code, so the 401 code means a client side error. If you get a 400 series error, it's mean the client side error. And if you get specific 401, it's been unauthorized. So it is related to, the username and password. Similarly, if you get 404, it's been not found. The server cannot find a resource for the requested URL. So let me show you some headers. So there is some built-in features for the troubleshooting purpose and to check the HTTP headers. So just open a Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, go to network and then www.google.com. You can see that there are some request header and some response header. I just want to show you that how it will look like. You can see that request URL status code is 200. It's been the result is successful. Similarly, the request method is get, and if you see the response code, you will see the different value. Cache control is private. It's mean no cache is allowed. Content encoding, the response content encoding is BR. The content length, it's mean the length of the body is 63083, and similarly the content type and data. So there are some many others headers. So if you need more additional information regarding header, so you can go in this side and you can read about different kind of headers. So let's discuss about HTTP persistent connection. In this diagram you can see that this is a TCP three-way handshaking is happening, and after three-way handshaking the client is sending a request, and then the client will get a response. And after the request and response, the client reinitiate the three-way handshaking TCP session. So after each request and response, client need to reestablish the TCP connection. So as per the performance point of view, it is not efficient way. In HTTP 1.1, they have introduced connection keep alive header. So with the help of this header, client and server doesn't need to initiate the TCP three-way handshaking again and again after the request and response. So client and server can reuse the single TCP three-way handshaking session.